Inselmilkom, sinjuri, nirringrazzjakom li qed issegwu il-programm għal Culture News illum għandna pjaċir naqsmu magħkom intervista ma' Josè Cura. Dan huwa stilla internazzjonali fil-qasam tal-opera u għalhekk ibatu il-kummenti pas-soltu wara din il-parti tal-programm. Thank you very much, José, for agreeing to meet with us.
Leah, it's my very, very big pleasure to be here in Malta. You know, I've been all my European life, which started in 1991 when we moved here from Argentina, always wanting to visit Malta, never, ever, ever came to Malta. And in the last 2 years, I came 5 times. So all of a sudden, you know, destiny, things happen when they have to happen. I'm so happy to be here. So let's see what fate will bring.
What is it that you like about Malta?
I'm half Arabic or half Lebanese, really Phoenician. My father's family was Lebanese. And of course, I'm quarter Italian, quarter Spanish. When you are here, you're just in the middle of all those things crossed together. And it's just an amazing feeling. You look there and you see a little bit of Lebanon. You look there and you see a little bit of Sicily, you know. And so it's an amazing feeling from the aesthetic point of view to be here.
Absolutely.
And then listening the language is also here. Some Arabic accent mixed with Italian and English. And you really, at a certain moment, you just don't know where you are.
Can we go back to your roots and speak a bit about Argentina and your childhood there?
Oh, okay.
What brought you here?
We go for the archaeological expedition.
Yes, of course.
My childhood was, I was a happy kid. I had a normal childhood. My teenagerhood was a little bit more complicated because I was in the university when the Falkland Wars started, for example, and that was delicate because it was my generation, the one that fought in the Falkland Wars. So that was delicate. Then we had, of course, the military problem. Previous to the military problem, we have the terrorism. That's the reason for which the military came. It's a very complicated story. It's not all black and white. Etc., etc., etc. So to try to be a musician, mostly a conductor and a composer, which is what I'm trained for. I became a singer much later in my career, in my life. It was hard times. I mean, how to be a conductor in a country that, due to the crisis, due to the war, due to this, due to that, was running out of orchestras. Or how to be a composer in such a situation. It's altogether it's impossible almost to survive as a composer today unless you write for movies. So it was a delicate time. That's the reason that in 1991 we moved to Europe. I was 28 back then. So now that I am about to hit 60 in December, I can say that I spent more than half of my life outside my country, yet missing, yes, longing a lot my people, my roots, but not regretting anything, because now my roots are divided. I cannot say I cut my roots, because that would be rough and ungrateful, but my roots are also in Europe now. My kids are fully European, and their companions and etc. are Europeans, so we are Europeans.
Anywhere particular in Europe?
Well, yes, that's the gypsy part of my life. We landed in Milan in '91. We went to live in Verona for 4 or 5 years. Then the crisis of the first years of the Lega Nord came, and we had to leave the country because we were kindly invited to go away because we were extracommunitaires. Those dark years that I don't know if they're over or not. It's not now my problem anymore, but that was hard back then. We went to France. We lived 5 years in France. My little kid, who is not so little, he's 2 meters now, was born in Paris. And then one day in 1999, I got enough of rain and clouds, and we just took the car and we moved to Madrid, and we live there since then.
Oh, how lovely. And how many children do you have?
3.
Have any of them followed in your footsteps?
No, my youngest kid, Nico, who was born in France, is an engineer and the broker, and he projects video games, and he's a lighting, fusion, whatever kind of engineer. I don't even understand what he does because it's so complicated. As he says, okay, Papa, who understands your scores? You look at my formulas and you understand. I look at your scores, I don't understand. He's right, so of course it's that. My daughter is a kindergarten teacher, so she's a very happy young woman. And my eldest son is an actor and musician. He lives in London, and he, let's say, he is the one who is closest to my
Closest to your brother.
Yeah.
Do you visit them very often?
Well, they visit us mostly because, as every young guy, they live in a tiny apartment in London where if you go, you have to sleep in the bathtub or in the shower. So they come, of course, home where they still have their places.
Jekk qegħdin nitkellmu fuq reċti li jagħmel, reċti operistiċi li jispikkaw, huwa bla dubju rinomat ħafna għar-ruoli tal-verizmo, dak li ngħidulu aħna l-verizmo, ġifri qegħdin nitkellmu opri ta' Maskanji, pereżempju Turiddu f'Kavallerija Rustikana, qed nitkellmu pereżempju Cavaradossi fit-Toska, qed nitkellmu Kala f'Turandot. Diversi ruoli li bla dubju huwa magħrufa lihom, kif ukoll minn repertorju Franċiż, pereżempju qed nitkellmu Samson id-Dalila, repertorju Ingliż, Peter Grimes. Ix-xelta hija vasta u nistenna li kulħadd imur jiċċekkja daqsxejn fuq il-YouTube jara dawn il-performances.
With regards to Malta, is there somewhere particular that you like more than other places?
Well, I will tell you a cliché, and it's of course the cliché that everybody I think says, and it's the Valletta is the heart of Malta. And when you come to Malta, you get the Valletta, and you go like, okay, this is it. And we are now in this building. You just cross the door there, and you say, "Oh my God, when I'm entering where?" And then you just cross the door. You walk in. You say, "Ah, okay." Then you see this marvelous thing. I say, "Oh, okay."
Beautiful building.
And I think the whole give and take, the whole city is like that. You cross a door that from outside, due to preservation, due to whatever kind of reason I don't want to dig in, it's not great. And then you cross that door, and inside is amazing.
What do you think of Maltese talent?
Well, I did a masterclass last year here, and I was surprised by the quality of some Maltese singers. Very well surprised, by the way. But of course, they have to deal with the taxing situation that is not an established theater where they can train, where they can experiment, where they can practice. So that complicates. I, as an artist, I understand. I mean, that's the reason I left my country 30 years ago. So I think it's the same. I think there's one open challenge for Malta is to finally build the theater or rebuild the theater that you used to have. But not only the physical theater, that's, I would say, easier to build. Yeah, it's expensive, but there's always money when the cost is just. It's not true. There's not. The money is there when it's wanted by the people who needs to want the project. I'm getting into dirty waters, but I can do it because I don't belong to the island, so I can take the risk. But what's the biggest challenge is to build the company, to inhabit that building. And by building the company, creating the proper structures for an orchestra or for the orchestra to incorporate, for a choir, for a company of singers, etc., etc.
Do you have any forthcoming plans with Malta after this?
We have some dirty plans, which is to bring, I think for the first time, and if not forgive my arrogance, for the first time, an opera that is not meant for the manual, as it is Puccini's Tosca, not meant in the sense of the size of the requested forces for the Tosca, for Puccini's Tosca, to try to adapt it to the manual so that Malta, who doesn't have a hall, a theater, and for what I know, I mean, I'm not really 100% informed of every detail. I think I will find out next year when I'm here for a long month. But every time you want to hear or want to see something operatic, you have to take the ferry and go to Gozo, or wait for the open air things in summer here. So I think to be able to do a full Puccini opera, big opera on the stage of the manual, it's something. If it is not a premiere, it's something not very common here. We cannot pretend we are in a huge stage. We need to adapt. Also from the point of view of the concept, we need to adapt. In that sense, when we will do more conferences and press communications, we will inform public of how we are going to do in order to adapt the spirit of Tosca to a stage where you cannot build a basilica. The more I am spending time in Malta, the more I am, and me and my wife too, we are falling in love with the place. I will not hide that the first time I came here, I was overwhelmed by the mess. Because you have, I mean, you are a messy country in the sense of everything. It's over the top. I mean, it's Latino plus. Or Mediterranean plus, or whatever you want to do it. So in the beginning you're like, okay, and then you just learn how to deal with that, and you learn where are the places where you can go for some silence, where are the places you can go for some noise, etc., etc. And little by little we are discovering corners of Malta, mostly of Valletta, of course, and we are dangerously falling in love with the place.
met last time, you spoke about how much you loved Malta. You're staying in Valletta now. How are you feeling living here?
Well, nobody who is a normal human being with a proper sense of aesthetics wouldn't not like Valletta. Because Valletta is like an open-air museum. And one of my dreams is one day to be here 1 week without working and just walking around with an archaeologist or someone like that, because I am sure that every stone has a story and we are passing in front of them and we don't know, you know. And I mean, Valletta is that.
You speak about maybe coming here without working, but I know you love your work. You're multi-talented. You've designed the stage, you're building the stage, you're performing. Tell me something about what you're doing for this performance.
Well, in this case, I don't want to sound like we are going to discover something new. I mean, we are going to narrate Tosca as people more or less think Tosca is. So we are not going to do any special concept or something that's out of the pot or something like that. We are going to be very traditional. We are in Malta, which is a very traditional city, very historical city. So we are not going to break the rules. The only thing we are going to do, breaking the rules space-wise, we are now standing on the pit. And normally this goes down, the orchestra is in there, and the action takes place on stage. In our case, because here we can fit, give and take, 35 people, and the orchestra of Puccini is 60 plus, there's no way we can fit them here. So we are going to fit them on stage, but not in concert version. It's going to be a full staged version behind a curtain that will be made up like a Maltese wall, like bricks, Maltese bricks. Well, I still have to see it, so I hope so. And the action will take place on the pit, which is raised to the level of the stage. So we are, I mean, you can see, we're going to be really singing in the face of the people.
And people will be sitting in the first row.
Yes,
also.
well, they will have some neck problems.
Yes.
But yes, people will be sitting there, and we will be really acting for them, like in a straight theater, like they will see every gesture and things that in opera usually you see from the distance.
Io conosco Josè Cura forse da 5 anni. La prima volta abbiamo cantato Otello insieme e poi 2 volte Tosca, poi abbiamo fatto Manon Lescaut, lui era il direttore e adesso è per la prima volta come regista.
Grazzi ħafna li rġajt il-għajtna. Kif tibda meta jkollok l-ewwel pjanijiet biex se jagħmlu opera kbira bħal din?
L-ewwel niltaqgħu mad-director, jiġi d-director, tiġi l-costume designer, ikollha diġà id-designs ta' xi tkun trid minn għandna nagħmlu, niddiskutuhom, speċjalment jekk ikun se jkun hemm xi quick changes, kif se tinża, jekk hux se tibqa' bihom, kun hemm ħafna dettalji.
Ġifieri huma meta ġew mill-Italja ġebu dawn magħhom.
Dawn kienu. Mbagħad mornant ġoħanut u nibdew nieħdu samples flimkien.
Ġifieri dak tip kollu tal-kostumi.
Dan huwa għalija hija l-bibja tiegħi din hija kollu ta' Toska, ikolli l-qisin kollu hemm. X'nonfqu u x'ma nonfqux fiha u l-irċevuti kolli kollox. Jekk jiġu darb'oħra forsi tkun terġa' titla' jekk inkun naf eżatt jien minha x'kostumi ntużaw fiha. Bħala ikollna rċevuti wkoll.
Ġmil ta' xogħol.
Dawn ikunu biċċi ta' samples li aħna nġibu, u mbagħad peress li il-costume designer hija Taljana ma kienx magħna hawn Malta, kellna naqsmu drappijiet u nimmarkawhom 1, 2, 3, allura mbagħad minn hemm kienet tgħidli pereżempju nużaw it-2 u nużaw it-3 u jiena mmur bit-2, 3, sample ta' 2, 3 u nġibu l-materjal.
First of all, I really want to give my thanks to Dorothy and Sarah, because without them, nothing will be possible. They are very, very, very passionate, and we understand very well, like a unique thought. And this is the costume of the first act of Tosca. Every character of Tosca has more or less one costume in all the show, because it is 1 day long action. Only Tosca has 2, because this is the first one of the first act. With this costume she goes to Cavaradossi in the church. It's a day dress. Tosca is a very beautiful character because in the death of his soul is very insecure, but she's a very famous singer, so is a complex character. She likes very much to be seen, and she likes to be beautiful in front of the others, like a diva. She is very elegant, but with a color that not passed unseen.
Għandha 3 tipi ta' materjal fuqha, taħt għandha l-abjad.
Sewa.
Għandha l-abjad taħt, u mbagħad għandha x-xifon fuqha biex joħroġ l-abjad minn taħta, u mbagħad żidnilha din ukoll fuqha. Hawnhekk hawn texture ieħor, fiha ħafna textures u fiha ħafna xogħol. Ovvjament di qed jonqosna nżidula ċ-ċejn u s-salib, so qed jonqos aktar dettalji.
Maestro, what do you feel about the preparation for this performance?
Well, actually I am very, very excited because it's the first time that I conduct in this situation, which is with the orchestra behind the singers and behind all the stage movement. I think in this marvelous theater, a very, very excited experience.
how has your work developed with Josè Cura and his team?
Well, I know José for many years. I worked with him many times, and it's really incredible how he can take away from the people the best that the people can make. And as a conductor, I have the feeling that all the thing that we will have with the music is already make it in the stage for the singers, for the acting, and I hope that will be a very compact show.
La storia del ben paio, Josè, Josè, la tavantina era dunque la mia.
La mia parte preferita per cantare.
Sì.
Quando si canta il Te Deum. Che 3 sbirri, una carrozza, presto, seguila dovunque vada, non visto, provvedi.
Georgia, what is your work here?
Here I work with Silvia, and I help her with the costume department, the atelier, and down in stage. So,
how are you finding Malta?
Oh, nice, very nice.
I am also the co-set designer with José, and with José we taught all the design of the show.
Quando metto il costume e già mi sento tosca. È stato molto facile entrare nel ruolo. E volevo dire grazie a tutte queste bravissime donne.
Jekk hemm xi ħaġa li titranġa, nibqa' nirranġa biex il-prodott ikun dejjem l-aqwa li jista' jkun. Wara kollox dan huwa teatru nazzjonali u l-kostumi huma minn fuq karta, minn fuq stampa, ġew realtà u tarhom fuq l-istage qegħdin jimxu hija xi ħaġa.
Għandek il-kamra wek mimlija production ta' prestigju ħafna, l-ewwel darba li qed issir ta' dan l-istandard hawn Malta, għandek ħafna kantanti hawnhekk, soprano, għandek il-Josè Cura, nies li huma ta' fama internazzjonali.
Huwa unur kbir illi qed naħdmu ma' dawn in-nies ma' José fl-istess ħin anke meta jikkumplimentana tgħid tieħu pjaċir ħafna, mhux għax il-Maltin le, imma bniedem bħalu tipo tieħu gost immensu. U titgħallem minn għandu wara kollox titgħallem minn fuq kulħadd.
Għax hu kollox fuq kollox jaf jiddisinja l-istage, jaf jikkondaktja, jaf jikkantja, jaf jidoq il-mużika, kollox jaf jagħmel. U anki jinteressa ruħu bil-kostumi wkoll.
U l-esperjenza li għandhom hu xi ħaġa imprezzabbli.
Sono davvero molto felice perché quando sono con José è una cosa incredibile. mi dà tanta energia. Quando lavoro con lui non è opera, è tutto vero, è tutto così naturale. È grande esperienza per me, è grande gioia.
Bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo perderte después.
Dylan, għajdli kif jħossok, speċjalment bl-orkestra fil-pożizzjoni li.
Le, bażikament hija l-ewwel darba jiena personali ili nieħu sehem fil-Korrijiet tal-Manuel kollha parti ma' Kor Malta. U di hija esperjenza differenti, jekk mhux unika, għax ma naħsibx li ħaterġa' tiġi opportunità oħra li jerġa' jkollna l-orkestra warajna għax normalment insibuha fil-pit. Ovvjament kif spjegana Maestro Cura wkoll hija tiktar għajnuna li jkollok l-orkestra warajk għax ovvjament daħal fiktar dettal u fiktar teknika, ovvjament li l-inna mbagħad għal-bidu ma konniex aware tagħha, ma mbagħad dejna ftit nifmu għax mhix daqshekk faċli għax li ma tarax il-maestro. Mbagħad ikollok problemi ta' monitors, I mean technical issues dejjem ikollok ftit qabel, imma mbagħad meta tibda tara kollox qed jaħdem tibda tara differenza u tibda tifhem iktar.
È la mia prima esperienza col maestro Cura qui a Malta. E che dire, una bella esperienza perché Cura è un nome della lirica veramente importante, un grande artista.
We are extremely proud to participate in this opera production for the second time together with Manuel Theatre this year, but it's a special one. We will be working on stage with the greatest artist in the world, Maestro Conductor De Rose, and stage director this time, Maestro Josè Cura, and a fantastic cast. We feel excited and we feel that we have to grab this occasion to learn and to show you our development and our beautiful national choir. See you there.
Din hija t-tieni darba li qed nieħu sehem f'opera ma' Kor Malta. Hija esperjenza tal-ġen, ġifieri niltaqgħu ma' ferm kantanti bravissimi. Esperjenza mal-kor ukoll u xekku mal-Maestro Riccardo Bianchi li dejjem huwa ta' support għalina u jagħtina dak kollu li għandu bżonn teknikalment.
Your choir have been very complimentary about you and they're very excited to be part of this production.
I am too, and actually I feel part of the choir as well as a chorister first, and then I have this role and I do it with proudness.
Din is-setup bl-orkestra wara l-palk hija xi ħaġa mhux tas-soltu.
Iva, fil-fatt, is-soltu l-orkestra meta ssir opera fil-Manuel dejjem tkun fil-pit. Din id-darba l-pit ħadd intuża bħala parti mix-xenografija, ġifieri fl-aħħarat il-pit ħadd tkun qed tintuża minn Tosca. Meta tagħmel famuża qabża Tosca minn Castel Sant'Angelo din id-darba ħadd tkun qiegħda taqbeż fil-pit. L-orkestra minflok kif tajjeb inti qiegħda fuq il-palk wara u kien għalhekk li stajna ntellaw din l-opra għaliex l-orkestra għat-Tosca tant hija kbira, l-komponenti tal-orkestra huma ħafna li ma kinux ħajqogħdu fil-pit. U dan fil-fatt irriduċa ħafna fi żminijiet li għaddew l-għażla ta' operi li setgħu jsiru f'dan it-teatru għax ovvjament il-palk huwa żgħir, il-pitt hija żgħira ħafna, imma Maestro Cura ħareġ din l-idea inventiva u inġenjuża li l-orkestra tkun fuq il-palk. U b'xi mod jew ieħor u Silvja li hija l-persuna li qiegħda tagħmel ix-xenografija flimkien
flimkien miegħu irnexxielhom joħolqu anke xenarju għal din l-opra li jagħmel tajjeb mill-limitazzjonijiet imma wkoll mill-opportunitajiet li joffri l-Manuel.
I am admiring Maestro De Rose because conducting from that position is not a piece of cake, but he is a fantastic coordinator, and the knowledge of the score he has is the power and the main thing who can bring everything together.
U kif tħossok bl-orkestra warajk?
Hija esperjenza differenti, kellna nitalmu skills ġoddax, pereżempju jien qatt ma kantajt fejn mhux qed nara l-kondakter qudiemi ma kelli nsegwi minn fuq monitors pereżempju. Imma fl-istess ħin qed tikber bħala artista u tikber ukoll fl-esperjenzi tiegħek bħala kantanta u l-affarijiet li titgħallem minn din il-produzzjoni tkun tista' tużhom iktar il qudiem fil-karriera tiegħek.
So instead of Santa Maria della Valle is going to be the co-cathedral in exactly in the chapel of St. John, where the Caravaggio is, just as a way of paying tribute to Malta, of course. And the second act and the third act are taking place in the Inquisitor's Palace in Birgu. The second act actually is where the inquisitors interrogated. I mean, it's all folklore because a lot of people say that everything there is just made for tourists and was not exactly like that. But okay, in the imagination of people, it's like that today. And the third act is taking place in front of one of the jails, of one of the several jails that if you go to Birgu, you can see. So I think a lot of people have been talking about, and they say, we've never been in the palace. I mean, Maltese, we've never been in the palace. Okay. So I think that after this Tosca, the palace will get a lot of visits out of the blue, and I'm very happy for that.
Grazzi Sinjuri li segwejtu il-Culture News illum. Jekk għandkom xi kummenti ibatuhom permezz tal-WhatsApp fuq in-numru li jidher fuq l-iskrin. Jiena Lea Hogg għal Net TV.